Hey guys, it's Baze. Welcome back to my channel. If you've seen my channel before, you know that I post original music and do some covers occasionally. So if you haven't seen my channel yet and you want to check those out, I'd really appreciate it. Today my video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you guys my vinyl record collection. So I'm really excited, and I'll just get started off. I'm going to go show you the pressing, and then I'll tell you my favorite tracks off the album. So starting off, we have one of my favorite bands, 5 Seconds of Summer with Calm. This is the Target exclusive edition, and it's a really pretty blue pressing. I love it. So here is this one. I think it's so pretty, just really vibrant. My favorite songs off of this album would have to be Not in the Same Way, Best Years, and Teeth, but I really love the whole album. Next up, I have one of my favorite albums of 2020, Under My Influence by the Aces. This album really means a lot to me, and I just love it. So this one is a gatefold, and I do love getting gatefolds. I think they look really cool. This is pressed on a clear vinyl with an orange splatter. I think this is really cool because it's just unique. It's different than a lot of records you can find. I love getting orange vinyl. I just think it's cool because there's not a ton of them. So yeah, I really like this pressing a lot. Definitely one of my favorites. And then my favorite songs off this would have to be Daydream, New Emotion, and Los Angeles. So if you haven't heard of the Aces, definitely make sure to check them out. They're amazing. Next up, I have Billie Eilish's debut EP, Don't Smile at Me. I love this EP. I just think it was really well done. So this is, I believe, the Urban Outfitters exclusive. And it's pressed on a really pretty opaque red vinyl. Red's my favorite color, so I always love getting red vinyl. So here is this. I just think it's really pretty and suits the album really well. My favorite songs off this album are I Don't Want to Be You Anymore, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. I just love it. Watch, and probably Ocean Eyes. Great song. Next up, I have Billie Eilish's first full-length album. This is When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? This is a gatefold, and it just has the lyrics, I believe, which I think is really nice just to include those. So this is from Urban Outfitters as well, and in the description it said that it was copper, so I didn't expect it to be this bright orange. But I'm super glad it is because I just think it's so cool, really vibrant, and I think it adds a lot of color, to the album that's dark, obviously. So I think it looks really cool. My favorite songs off of this are You Should See Me in a Crown, When the Party's Over, and I Love You. Next up, I have my only black vinyl record, which sounds crazy, but I do specifically love collecting colored vinyl. This is a gatefold, and this was at a really good price. I was lucky to pick it up when it was. So that's why I have this black vinyl, and looking back, I'm really glad I got it, so I do have a standard black vinyl for my collection. So I'm not going to show you the inside of this one, but I will tell you my favorite tracks are Take Me Back to London, Best Part of Me, and I Don't Want Your Money. Next up, I have one of my favorite artists, Halsey, with Hopeless Fountain Kingdom. This is a gatefold, and I really like that picture. I think it's nice. This is maybe my favorite pressing I have. It's so cool looking. This is a clear with pill splatter. I just think it's stunning. Like, I knew it was going to be pretty, but when I opened this, I was just so pleased with it. I think it looks really nice, and I love this teal color with the red. I just think it blends really nicely. So, great album. My favorites off this are Sorry, Bad at Love, and Strangers. Next up, I also have Manic by Halsey, and I definitely want to get Badlands because that is my favorite album of hers, but I couldn't find a pressing on sale for a reasonable price. So I just thought I'd get these first and then maybe come back around to the black vinyl, or if they repress it, I'll definitely want to get that eventually. But here is this. It's just a nice translucent light green, so it's almost clear but has a nice green tint, which I just think is nice and simple and suits the album really well. So yeah, I love this pressing. My favorite songs off of this are Finally Beautiful Stranger, which is one of my favorite songs, Ashley, and Still Learning. I just love that album. Next up, another one of my favorite artists is Harry Styles, and I have Fine Line of his. And this is a gatefold with some pictures of him. I love Harry, and this album I just think is so amazing. This is a Target exclusive edition pressing, and it is like clear with black and white splatter. I don't see vinyl like this a lot, so I think that it's really cool, and I'm very glad I have it in my collection. My favorite songs off of this album are To Be So Lonely, Falling, and Cherry. Next up, I have Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. I love the cover of this album, just the colors I think all blend really well together. And then this is the Urban Outfitters vinyl pressing, and it is clear. I absolutely love it. I just think it's really nice to have a clear vinyl in my collection. It's simple, but just suits the album really, really well. And my favorites off of this would have to be Love Is a Wild Thing. There's so many good songs. Love Is a Wild Thing, Butterflies, and Slow Burn would have to be my top 3. Next up, I have one of my favorite albums of all time, What's the Story? Morning Glory by Oasis. Now this album is absolutely fantastic. It's a classic. This opens up really cool. I don't have any like it. It's definitely a collector's item, and I'm so happy I have it. This is the 25th anniversary limited edition silver vinyl, and I found this on Amazon and was so happy to get it. Has a little bit of a swirl to it, but I don't know if the camera will pick that up. But yeah, great album. My favorites off of this would have to be Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, and She's Electric. But there are so many great songs on this. Yeah, great album. Next up, I have Rare by Selena Gomez, definitely my favorite album of hers. This is my favorite pressing that is just one solid color, and this is a Target exclusive. I just love the vibrant red. I think it suits the album really well and just looks really cool. So, yeah, I'm very glad I have this in my collection. My favorites off of this are Lose You to Love Me, Rare, and Feel Me, which is on the deluxe edition. And this one's from Target, so I believe it only has the one extra song, but I absolutely love it, so I'm very glad I have that as well instead of just the standard edition. Next up, I have Wonder by Shawn Mendes, which just recently came out December 4th, I believe. I remember that day. I was so excited. So this is a gatefold, and then this comes directly from the Shawn Mendes' merch store. And this is similar to the 5 Seconds of Summer vinyl. It's this really nice translucent blue. I just think it's so pretty, really suits the album well. There are a couple different options to choose from, but I definitely preferred this version and just thought that it was super cool looking. So really excited about this. Next up, I have my favorite artist of all time, Taylor Swift. I really look up to her as a songwriter and as a person. I just think she's amazing. So this is Lover. And this is the only record in my collection that has 2 different colors of pressings. So the first one is this nice cotton candy pink. I think it's so pretty. It's my only pink vinyl. Definitely want to get more. And it obviously suits the album really well. And I bet you can guess the other vinyl is blue. So there's this really nice picture of her included. And it has this nice light translucent blue. So I do have a lot of blue vinyl in my collection. I just happen to. I think they make a lot of it, but I also love that color for vinyl. I think it's really nice. Next up, I have Folklore by Taylor Swift. Now, I do only have these 2 vinyl of her, but I definitely want to get more in the future, however, her whole collection, because I love all of the albums. She had a bunch of different versions that she released on her merch store, and this one was my favorite, the Betty's Garden edition, which is a really nice light purple color. I absolutely love it, this whole album. My favorites off of this are Betty, which is my favorite song of the whole year, one of my favorites of hers ever. Exile, and August, which are all just fantastic. Next up, I have Heartwork by The Used. This may be my favorite vinyl pressing. I just think it's so cool. Definitely one of my favorite albums from 2020. I just think it's awesome. Here's the pressing. It's this nice red with rainbow splatter vinyl. I just think it's so stunning to look at, just really cool, and suits the album perfectly. My favorite songs off this are Cathedral Bell, Obvious Blase, and Clean Cut Heels, which is actually my very favorite off of the album. And lastly, I have the Blue Album by Weezer, their debut album. I love this album, and it was actually the first vinyl that I got. This is the Target exclusive, and it is another blue vinyl, and it has a little bit of a white marble effect to it. I think it is so pretty. I'm very glad because this definitely got me more into collecting, and I knew I wanted to get some, but when I got this, I was so happy with it. Loved listening to it and looking at it. So yeah, that's kind of where it started for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I do post original music pretty often, and I definitely plan on doing more of these vinyl collection updates. So if you like what you see, make sure to subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.